Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on this video. Today we are doing something that is super fun. I don't know why I just did that like Karate Kid. Today I am talking about something that I am super pumped to talk about, and that is music lyrics. Not only are we talking about music lyrics, but we are talking about the lyricists themselves, and that is where the title of this video comes in. We are talking about the 10 best, that's 5. Today we are talking about the 10 best lyricists of all time. This video is completely inspired by the fact that it is National Poetry Month this month. So if you have some favorite lyricists that you know of, please put them down in the comments below. If I missed someone in my list, or if you think that there's someone that should get honorable mention that doesn't get mentioned enough, or even a modern artist that hasn't had the time to make a full discography like some of these artists, but you want to include in the list of up-and-coming lyricists that should be included on the top 10, please put them in the comments below. I would love to see your guys' thoughts, and maybe I'll check out a few of those artists that you suggest. Let's just get right into the video. Like I said before, thank you for clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. If you are new here, my name is Lucy Claire, and I am so excited you decided to join us this week. I am going to do two things in today's video. First, I'm going to run through the Rolling Stones top 10 lyricists of all time and give you their ratings, because I'm sure that you care about their opinions. Their opinions are very valid. And then I'm going to tell you my top 10 list with a few honorable mentions at the end. And see what you guys think. If there are some that I missed, like I said before, throw them down in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But since I am the daughter of an English teacher, I have to say my mom did request this video maybe more than a few times. So I'm going to talk to you about some of the lyricists of our age that have graced us with a many beautiful lyric. Why am I talking like I'm in old England? There are some really darn good writers out there, and we should recognize them. So let's start off with Rolling Stone's top 10 lyricists and songwriters of all time. In order to make this go a little bit quicker, I'm just going to share the artist's ranking, the artist's name, and the artist's quote that Rolling Stones chose to include on their little snippet about them. But if you'd like to check out this entire article, it's actually the top 100 songwriters of all time. So if you want to check that out, I will link it in the description below. It is a crazy good article, so I would definitely check out that article if you're interested. So coming in at number 10 is Stevie Wonder, an excellent inclusion. The quote that Rolling Stones chose to include for him was, "Like a painter, I get my inspiration from experiences that can be painful or beautiful." Coming in at number 9 is Joni Mitchell, another excellent inclusion, and a great female artist who is both a songwriter and a singer. Talking about one of these albums that she published, she wrote, "I went, oh my god, a lot of people are listening to me. Well then, they better find out who they're worshiping. Let's see if they can take it. Let's get real." On to number 8, Rolling Stones has chosen Paul Simon, which I think, what a great inclusion. There are definitely a lot of Paul Simon songs that I can think of that are iconic, not only for their melodies, but also for their lyrics, Graceland being one of my favorites. And he said about his lyrics, "I've tried to sound ironic, I can't." At least Paul Simon can admit that maybe he is not great at some things. At number 7, we have Carole King. If you are a person that's at all interested in the music world and music history, you know just how many songs were written by Carole King. A ton. She said, "Once I start to create a song, even if commerce is the motivation, I'm still going to try to write the best song and move people in a way that touches them. People know when you do that. They know that there's an emotional connection, even if it's commercial." I don't know, I might have to wrestle with that one. At number 6, Rolling Stones puts Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. And they are kind of a songwriting duo. The quote that Rolling Stones chose was a quote from Mick Jagger when he said, "People like partnerships because they can identify with the drama of two people in a partnership." True, Mick Jagger. At number 5, Rolling Stones chose Smokey Robinson. And I agree. It says, my theory of writing is to write a song that has a complete idea and tells a story in the time allotted for a record. I can't help thinking maybe Smokey Robinson is a Capricorn from that description. At number 4, Rolling Stones has Chuck Berry, and that is a great answer, Rolling Stone. Good for you. He said his songs were concise and mythic, celebratingly unique American freedoms or protesting their denials. So I would definitely encourage you to check him out. Apparently Rolling Stones think so also. The third pick for Rolling Stones is John Lennon, a member of the Beatles, one of the most iconic bands of all time. Makes sense, probably because those lyrics connected with a lot of people. And the quote that Rolling Stones chose to include was by Bob Dylan. They were doing things nobody was doing. I knew they were pointing the direction where music had to go. That is quite the compliment coming from Bob Dylan. The number 2, and now I can see that Rolling Stone maybe has a little bit of a bias, is Paul McCartney. I wouldn't disagree. Paul McCartney's songs are iconic. He was a part of many iconic bands, first Beatles, then Wings, and now his solo career. And he's still going, writing great songs, so they must be right. He says, when you think about it, when you're writing a song, you're always trying to write something that you love and that people will love. Sure. And coming in at number 1, the classic, I'm sure you can already guess, Bob Dylan. I can't really say anything bad about Bob Dylan. The man literally has a Nobel Peace Prize in Literature that was awarded to him in 2016. So his quote from Rolling Stone is, a song is like a dream, and you try to make it come true. They're like strange countries that you have to enter. Profound and complicated, and would probably take me a whole day to think through. That concludes Rolling Stone's list, so let's move on to my list. I'm just going to say I'm going to go through these quickly because I'm sure many people will disagree with me and my rankings, but this is just the way that I've chosen to live my life, and I apologize if I offend anyone. It's music, so it's all subjective. I have my little handy dandy notepad here, and I'm going to tell you my top 10 lyricists of all time. Starting from 10, Dolly Parton. I mean, it's obvious. I love Dolly Parton. I have another video on my channel all about Dolly Parton and her lyrics and how amazing she is, so go check that video out. Coming in at number 9 for me is Eminem. I mean, the man can really rap. Number 8 on my list is Tupac Shakur, because if you're gonna give one to Eminem, you better give one to Tupac. I think that he would have produced so much more amazing music if he had just had the chance. Coming in at number 7, Sting. And I don't care who fights me on this, because if you've listened to any of his music, you would know that Sting is an amazing lyricist. Mind-blowing, okay? Mind-blowing. Number 6 on my list is Bob Dylan, and I know that Rolling Stone would fight with me over this. Even though he has a Nobel Prize, only deserves the spot at number 6, because sometimes when I'm listening to his music, I can't understand what he's saying. Maybe it's less about the lyrics and more about the way he's singing. Coming in at number 5 is the amazing Nina Simone. And I think that because she is one of the most amazing female artists of the 20th century. Listen, Porgy and Bess is so good, you will never dissuade me. At number 4, I have The Boss, Bruce Springsteen. There's something truly captivating about The Boss, and that's probably why people call him that. So, coming in at number 3 for best lyrics of all time, I have, and this may surprise you, Adele. Yes, Adele. I grew up in the era of 21 and 19, and I definitely think that Adele earns herself a high place on this list. I mean, Adele, you can't tell me that Adele shouldn't be on this list, right? Anyway, if you don't think so, you're crazy. Number 2, Paul Simon. Me and Rolling Stones switched our opinions on these two guys, but I put Bob Dylan below Paul Simon just because I am an avid supporter of Paul Simon and all of his work. I think that there are some amazing lyrics that he came up with. Like I said earlier in the video, I really, really love the song Graceland and the album Graceland. Now, for the finale, coming in at number 1, in the number 1 spot for lyrics. I don't know how all of you are going to feel about this, but hopefully you'll survive. Sit down if you need to. I chose Mark Knopfler. My family is made up of die-hard Mark Knopfler fans. I have listened to Mark Knopfler since I was an infant, and everything from his Dire Straits work all the way to Down the Road Wherever. His lyrics are so crazy. Some of them tell amazing stories. Some of them talk about the truths of life. Some of them talk about emotions or historical events. It's just like crazy the amount of story that he can fit into a small amount of lyrics. And I know that he was the driving creative force in Dire Straits. And he continues to be an unstoppable force of creative energy even into his 70s. I am just always in awe of the amount of meaning that he can make out of 3 minutes of listening. Quickly, I wanted to add a few honorable mentions that didn't make their way onto my top 10 list. So, my honorable mention list is Marlon Williams, a New Zealand artist who is up and coming. His songs Party Boy and I Know a Jeweler are excellent examples of lyrical genius from an up and coming artist. Next is Stevie Nicks of the band Fleetwood Mac, and many other musical projects, but Stevie Nicks' lyrics are magical. Next in the honorable mentions category is Prince. His ability to write about parties in new and different ways on every single album really inspires me. Finally, in the honorable mention category is our first female rapper, Nicki Minaj. I couldn't go through an entire lyrical video without talking about the queen of rap. I don't know if people call her that, but she's that in my heart. Trust me, any song that Nicki's on, there's going to be one line that really gets stuck in your head for decades. And I'm speaking from experience. Please let me know down below who you think the best lyrical artist or songwriter is. With all that said and done, if this is your first time seeing my face, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so that you don't miss any future content coming from my channel. I am so glad we got to celebrate National Poetry Month together with the top 10 lyricists of all time. I think it's been like an hour and a half, so I'm gonna go, but I'll see you next week.